Warning, there will be spoilers throughout this podcast. If you have not yet read or finished reading this book, we suggest that you stop here and come back after you have read the book. If you just don't give a shit, then keep on listening.
Wait, sorry, I'm trying not to
Higher
swear so much in your house. Because I just feel like that's so disrespectful.
Why? You're
I don't know.
fine.
It's like Mia. Mia won't swear in front of us.
I know. And she's just like, I have such a potty mouth, but I just won't say it in front of you guys.
I just tell her I don't believe you. At this point, I don't believe you.
Because I look at her and I'm
Be
like,
yourself. I want you guys to be yourself in my house. Don't be afraid to be yourself.
I look at Mia and I'm like,
Like,
you
that's
hear
not-
the words that come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
But she just thinks it's disrespectful when there are older people in the house or in the
we're your
building.
friends.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say.
We're your friends. Like
I don't want to taint your house with my negative energy.
Fucking
no, but don't feel like that. Like just be yourself.
Okay.
That's what I want. I want you guys to feel at home.
How excited are you to read Bride?
Oh, so excited! I'm so excited.
So excited.
to read Bride. I have tomorrow.
Well, okay, what is that? Because I've heard people talk about it, but I don't know what it
It's
is.
a book by Allie Hazelwood. I don't know. It's like a vampire, like werewolf romance.
It's supposed to be really
Oh.
weird.
That's what I've heard.
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know if we want to bring this kind of content onto the podcast. You ever heard of Omegaverse?
No, okay, that's the thing too. I've been hearing everybody.
That's the video. I sent the video.
Yes, and I've been hearing everybody talk about it, and I don't know what the fuck it is.
Sorry, I can't explain. I cannot look you in the eyes if I explain it to you. Nicole, I can't. We can't.
It is on. I didn't even.
That's something you're gonna have to look up for yourself.
Okay, all right. I guess I'm gonna have to do some
I'm
research.
sorry if you've never read fan fiction.
Oh,
I'm
speaking
a
of fan fiction, I
right.
downloaded all 3 volumes of Manacled,
Oh my god.
and I have it on my Amazon storefront. It's like $50 for me to order because I don't want bright white paper, so I'm gonna order like an off-white cream paper from Amazon. And then I found it's like $19.99 for the guide to punch the holes. It was like $16 I think for this whole kit that came with the like thingy that you fold the pages down with and the needles and
Right.
the thread. And then there was something else. Oh, the little like markers to like mark the spaces of like making the cover was like $9.99. So it comes with like $50 for the whole thing.
Nice.
So I'm gonna print that out and I'm going to bind
I'm
Manacled.
so
We
scared
need to
to
bind
read
it.
it. I'm so scared to read it.
I'm scared to read it too, but we
because
need
it's,
to
like,
get it
based-
now.
It's based off of like, Hermione and
So what I
Malfoy, but off of the Handmaiden's Tale.
Yes.
And that show.
So
That
basically
show.
it's Harry Potter is dead. He died. Voldemort won. Hermione has been taken like prisoner in a sense and given to Malfoy as just like a here's your bride basically in a sense.
Also, Nicole, another quick little update. I got the wrong fucking book.
What do you mean you got the wrong book?
I
I'm sorry.
I was on my iPad and I couldn't find the message that you guys sent for the book, and I was like, it's One Dark something.
What
It's
did you
something in the
buy?
dark. It's called like a door in the dark or some shit. I didn't read it because I was like, and I got it after I ordered it. I was like, I really don't think this I don't think this
Why
is the
didn't
cover.
you just text us if you
Because the last time I texted Crystal was rude to me.
Fuck Crystal, ask us. Fuck. I will say that you do have to read this. It was a very slow start.
Right.
It's for me, but the
I-
ending.
So good. I'm
So
sorry.
good.
My
I
hands
need
are
book
so
two.
hairy.
I do
Yeah.
wanna. I still am planning on reading it. I did order it. But I.
I think Raven might be my new book
Your book boyfriend.
boyfriend.
Really?
I loved
I
him.
didn't care for him.
I loved him.
I feel.
Hello?
I actually had more notes on One Dark Window, reading like the synopsis of it than I did with. This
Synopsis,
is why I
I
don't
guess.
text you.
I think synapses.
Sin
Means
something.
else.
Whatever it was, the summary of the book. I had more notes on it than I did ACOWAR, but
Okay, can we not call it ACOWAR because that was it me and you that were talking about it? It pisses me the fuck off. ACOTAR makes sense. ACOWAR and ACOMOF or whatever you pronounce it pisses me the fuck off.
I just call all of it.
I don't like
Avatar.
Yes.
I don't
all
like
of it.
ACOMAF.
ACOMAF pisses me the fuck off. I don't know why it makes me so angry. All right, do we want to get into the book?
I know.
We've been
That's my
talking
point.
for
Actually,
half an hour.
Before we get started, I do want to
Okay.
say, did everybody hear the new intro? I know you did for the new intro for the podcast.
Oh yes.
Did you?
No.
Our new intro is
You guys
beautiful.
like it?
It's
So
amazing.
good. So
I
it
wanna
was.
listen to it.
It was.
You haven't heard it?
We want to give a big
Yes.
thanks to Philly,
Yes.
who is
for-
Leah's husband.
Yes.
Because he made our new intro and / outro, because we used it for the outro too. Music.
And it sounds amazing.
It's fucking
It's so
amazing.
good.
Sorry.
He
I'm
was
not
so
trying to touch your-
nervous.
Oh, there was
Oh
no
my
need
God.
for him to be
So
nervous.
nervous.
I literally opened that email and I played it, and I swear to you, I sat there in front of my computer with my mouth just like
Me too.
wide open,
Yeah.
and I like started tearing up because I was just literally like
Yeah.
the most perfect.
Yeah.
Like the
I-
embodiment
yes.
of what we wanted.
Oh
Yeah.
yes,
right?
he understood everything.
Guys.
He's so good.
I'm telling you, he was so like.
Yeah.
Like it is literally like
You can tell
Yeah.
that he made two people's eyes water.
it's like
Even if it was trash, we would have loved it.
I don't think it would have been trash. With
Rash
this
is
being
my
the
eyes
first
water.
thing we've ever asked him to be like, hey, can you make this for
Yeah.
us? And this
Yeah.
being the first like
Yeah.
Yeah.
every time we need to update, we need anything like
I know. Or the little book report.
Book report.
yes, we need something for book report.
Yeah.
Hi, hello, welcome back. I'm Nicole,
I'm Leah.
I'm Crystal.
I'm Mara.
and this is Literaturely Obsessed.
Yay!
I said it right. So today we are talking One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. Gillig, I believe is how you pronounce her name.
Is a anagram.
It
Not
is.
anagram. So you can.
Write it the same way,
Yeah.
frontwards and backwards, yes.
There's another word for that. I don't think it's anagram.
I know what you meant though. This book is 392 pages long. I believe it's considered what, thriller? Mystery?
No, I thought it was kind of like a gothic fantasy.
But I think like what it's like I haven't looked at the Goodreads, so I might be wrong. But well, it was published in 2022, so it is a newer book.
We're only 2 years late.
Oh yeah, it's considered fantasy, romance, gothic, horror.
Horror.
And the back of the book says, Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie, mist-locked kingdom of Blunder. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient miracle spirit trapped in her head. He protects her, he keeps her secrets, but nothing comes for free, especially magic. When Elspeth meets a mysterious highwayman on the forest road, her life takes a drastic turn. Thrust into a world of shadow and deception, she joins a dangerous quest to cure Blunder of the dark magic infecting it. Except the highwayman just so happens to be the king's own nephew, captain of the most dangerous men in Blunder, and guilty of high treason. So, we want to go around and do our ratings real quick?
Does Mara want to fess up first?
Oh, yeah.
What's a highwayman, first of all?
Well, you would know.
You would know if you read the book. But basically, it's like a person who waits out on the road and will.
It's like
it's a
a
thief.
thief,
They're a
yeah.
thief.
Yeah,
They're
a
a thief. A thief. Pretty much.
Okay, cool.
But Mara did not read this book.
Okay, first of all, let me explain my side of the
It's
story.
even more embarrassing than Mara not reading the book.
True.
Anyways, so I couldn't text and clarify because I didn't want Crystal to be mean to me again.
Oh my god.
But your girl remembered it was a dark something, and I had to do with furniture or like something. So I ordered a Door in the Dark or whatever the fuck it's called. So, and I did read it because I saw it and I was like, this doesn't look like the book that I was looking at before. So yeah. But I did read a synopsis of it. Synopsis, whatever the hell Crystal wants me to call it. and I gave the synopsis a 3.7 out of 5.
Okay. Crystal?
This book was like a high 4 for me. That first half of it was like slow and like, why should I care about these characters? But other than that, once we got to that halfway point, I liked it. I loved the book. Yeah.
It was good. It was like a 3.5 for me. The first half really dragged for me. And I think getting a hold of the magic system personally was a little bit difficult. I was really trying to piece everything together as I was reading, and I think it was just too much for my little brain to handle. But it was good. I liked the concept. It was definitely different. So 3.5 out of 5.
I rated it a 4.5 out of 5. Same thing. The beginning was kind of slow, and same kind of point, Crystal. Like, why am I caring right now? Like, why are you telling me about these people?
Right.
What is going on? All right, cool. She's got this thing in her head, but like, what the fuck? The end though, yeah, picked up big time, and I like literally could not put it down. I just wanted to know what was happening.
Right.
But that's why like I took that little half point off. And yeah, Leah, the magic system was really strange in this book.
Very.
Like,
It's
I mean, I liked it though because it was very unique
right.
and something I've never read before. And it, I
Right.
feel.
Yeah.
Right.
Can we talk about like the nightmare in this bitch's head?
Yeah,
The whole time I was picturing Venom.
same.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like a deep,
Literally,
dark,
yeah.
like raspy
Yeah,
voice.
Just a
Like,
fucking blob with
Yeah.
teeth and a tongue.
well,
Yeah.
I pictured. It's really kind of funny because it was just a picture of Venom right there on the wall.
Venom.
I pictured like a werewolf type of thing in her head with the way that she was describing it, like yellow eyes, fur,
Like
claws.
hind legs, super tall.
Yeah, like-
gamey
Uh-huh.
like.
Yes, like I was
Yeah.
picturing like werewolf, but very much Venom
Yeah.
split personality
Yeah.
type of thing. Especially when he would like overtake her.
Yes. Okay.
She'd just be like, "Help me," and he'd be
Yeah.
like, "Okay."
Yeah. Yeah. And she would just be this woman, just like out here, like fucking fighting people. And the only way you could tell is that she had like yellow eyes. But like in my head, I'm picturing her going full Venom.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because at one point she slices the High Prince's face.
And her
Oh.
big old velvet dresses.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
like just
Yes.
So clearly she grew like
Yeah.
claws or
Yeah.
something because she like
Yeah.
whoosh, his face and neck and everything
Yeah.
and then
She
ran away.
really is. We're talking about the main character, Elspeth. Like we just, I've noticed that we don't really say the names. Of
we
the
really
characters.
don't. But yeah,
But
Elspeth?
Elspeth. Which you don't even get her first name until like a good while into the book.
No, it was pretty. I feel like it was pretty soon.
No,
it was a couple pages in.
I don't know. I feel like
The one thing that did piss me off, though, you didn't get like a description of her until farther in.
Yeah.
Like I literally wrote down like 20 question mark because I didn't know how old she was because it just talked about her getting this infection when she was or a fever when she was younger, and now she's older. But it didn't talk about how old she
Well, it said
was.
11 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, 11 years, but it didn't say how old she was at first when she got the
Right.
infection. So you just knew that 11 years had passed. So
Yeah.
I was confused. And then, like, middle of the book, you find out that she's 20.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but in my mind of, like, picturing these characters, it really helps to know these things. Like,
Well, it did because she said it was 9.
did it say she was
Yeah.
9?
It was 9. She was 9.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. She was 9 and then 11 years
Yeah.
later. So it did.
It's the first
Okay.
time
It
it's
was
in the
just
book, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. It was the first. Well, I did like at first. I did really like how it just like that first chapter really just like kicked off and like okay, this is what happened. You know what I mean? I did like that, and then it just got so slow for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like so slow, and like she's like a little frustrating
She's
to
a
me.
little whiny.
Yeah, and but
I
also
love her,
this,
but like I actually did come to like love her and care about her
Yes.
at the end of
Yes.
the book.
Yeah.
But like
in this, I was just kept telling myself, you have this thing that's talking to you in your head, and the whole 11 years that he's been with you, you never thought to ask these questions before.
right?
You never thought to ask.
But also
him
too, I feel like
before.
I feel like if she did, because one of the things that I wrote down
But he
with
even
was,
said it.
I think I feel like we can
But
give her
he
a little bit of
talked in-
grace.
but he talked in riddles.
Well, yeah, but he even said, you know, she would ask. What was it that she asked? And he's like, "Well, you never asked me." Like,
Oh,
because,
if he was the
Yes.
Shepherd King.
yeah, like he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you
You
never
never
asked
asked.
me."
Well, what?
You never asked me.
Why would she have come up with that question?
True.
Hey, fucking thing in my head. Are you the Shepherd King?
Or just be like, "What are you? Like,
He
what are
would've-
you?"
He would have.
Spit out some cryptic ass riddle.
Because I wrote down at one point, I was like, why is everything in foot? What's with the fucking riddles?
I love it.
Why is everything rhyming
He's like
too?
a little,
Like
he's like a little troll under a bridge. Like
Rumpelstiltskin.
yeah.
Yeah, very much Rumpelstiltskin vibes.
I was just, I don't know. I was so like,
Also, too,
just so much like you don't know anything about
No.
this guy that's been living with you for 11 years. 11 years, you know nothing.
I just think we should give her a little bit of grace because if she had been caught, like, you know, I think
talking to herself, or
talking
like,
to herself, or even like questioning the thing in her head, you know, like people, people aren't supposed to know that she's been infected.
right?
Right? Because
Yeah.
like magic is outlawed. Like if you've been infected, you're gonna
You're
be
dead.
taken to the fucking dungeon. You're getting killed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't picture her. I don't picture her to be like. I don't picture her to be like a Farah, or to picture her like a Violet, or
No.
she is a girl's girl. Like she's she's girly.
She's
like
so cute. Okay,
Yes, like-
there's this one scene where they're putting her on a horse, and she said to like sit on the horse correctly.
Yes.
It's like she's like a lady. Like she's
Yes,
a lady.
and
She's got
she's-
his legs crossed. She's wearing these big fucking dresses.
yes,
and she's like in pants in that scene too.
Yeah,
And she's like,
and
this
she's
is
like,
wrong.
Yes, and I thought that was so different from a lot of the girls that we read in
Yeah.
the book.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It was so different because she was like, I like how the author kept true to like the time period too, right? Like
Mhm.
just I don't know what time period this is or what, you know what I mean?
It seemed very like medieval.
Medieval.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
there were everything was candlelight.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
it talked a lot about how like at night, like
Uh-huh.
everything was very, very dark.
Yeah.
and
Yes.
carriages
Yeah.
and horses and stuff.
And I can just totally picture her in her big old velvet dresses
Yeah.
and just
Mhm.
like
I just love it. I love it.
Yeah, and she was like she cries like all the time.
Yes.
Yes.
Like all the time, and
she's
I was
so it's so refreshing seeing a character
Yes.
like this because you, me, a crybaby, can like see myself in her. You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
I think it was neat, right,
Yeah.
to see a character, like I said, a
Yeah.
character that was total opposite
And
of
like
what I read.
she has a little bit of character development, but her personality just kind of stays the same from the beginning of the book to the end of the book.
Right.
You know, and I love that because I feel like too many times you see character, or the end of her story, I should say, but too many times you see like characters kind of like after what am I trying to say? After like being faced with some kind of trauma, like they just become like a shell of themselves.
Right.
And that didn't happen to her. Like
Mhm.
she fought until the very end.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But
And she even
Well-
knew what was happening at the very end and was
Yes,
still just
right.
like, all right, this is what happens.
So should we like start from the beginning and kind
Yeah,
of just, like
yeah.
base like what the whole concept of this book is?
yeah, absolutely.
This young girl gets infected with this thing, touches a card from this magical
well, they
system.
don't really say like what that is one thing too. They don't really say what the infection. It's just a fever.
Right.
They get a fever,
but
and
I think they get it from the mist, don't
that's
they?
what I'm assuming. They get it
mist
from the
that
mist.
overtakes the forest, and
Right.
the mist is growing. And it's what is it like? It's the
The spirit of the woods.
the spirit of the woods
made this
essentially.
mist to like
Yeah.
bring, because basically I guess I mean, what I'm assuming is before all of this you were able to go find the spirit of the woods and ask
her
for
something. Yeah.
ask her for something, ask for magic, ask for help. And then the Shepherd King went in and was like, I want all these cards made. They all have different magical abilities.
Fucked everybody over.
Yeah.
Just
Fuck
like a
you,
man.
spirit of the woods. Nobody needs you in your magic anymore.
Yeah, because we
Go
got your
screw
fucking
yourself.
cards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the spirit of the woods got pissed off, made this mist to lure people to her so that she could get what she had before. So if children got this fever, they were whisked away to the kingdom, castle, brought to the dungeons, and murdered.
Yeah.
Yep.
Basically.
Her father basically
Well-
abandons her.
Well,
He
did-
sends her away.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he obviously cares for her and cared for her mother. Like, like he loved them, loved her. And so he sent her away as like the right thing to do, I guess.
Yeah, in a
because
sense.
he was captain of the, how do you even say that word? The
Destitutes? That's what I was saying,
Destitutes?
Destitutes.
I thought it was destriers.
Destriers?
Did I read it wrong?
I was saying Destitutes. Destitutes.
Wait, how do you spell it?
Destreir.
Destriers.
Destriers.
Yeah, not
I don't
destituers.
know. I
There's
have
no
no idea.
I after the S.
Okay, Destriers. Anyway, he was the captain of the Destriers.
Don't
Which
let
is like-
Crystal tell you how to say that word.
Which is like an army of sorts
Yeah.
for the King of Blunder.
Right.
Yeah.
They're tasked with finding the infected people,
Yes.
bringing them to the dungeon so that they can be killed.
Right.
Well, also to finding people who have harbored or hidden infected people, because
Right.
those people get
Yeah,
in
there's
trouble
a whole
too.
scene with like a child
Mm-hmm.
who gets and his parents get fucking executed,
Yeah.
or they try to.
No, they try to execute them.
Yeah,
The
escape.
king like makes them go out into the mist to be killed.
Yeah. Anyway, Elspeth's father was a captain
Yes.
of the Destriers
At that time.
at the time that Elspeth got the infection and survived it. And so in order, I think he loves her a lot.
Right.
Yes.
And
I think so too.
I got really gooey, like, reading about their relationship. But he sends her away because he has to keep her magic hidden, right? Even though Elspeth
but the
for
thing-
like years doesn't know she has any kind of magic
Right.
until she touches a nightmare card.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing though. Still, none of them even know she has this magic. Because she told everybody, "Oh, I had the fever, it went away, and I got no repercussions from it. So I'm one in a million that I didn't get any sort of magic from my fever. So we have nothing to worry about." But yeah, in reality, she has this monster living in her head that can see the color.
Well,
Of
her magic was absorbing
absorbing the cards.
The card. Yeah. I wonder what would happen if she like touched all the other cards.
I know. I wish
know
she
what I
would
mean?
have touched one so you could have seen
Yeah,
what
right,
would have happened.
Me too. So she lives with her
Aunt.
aunt and
Yeah.
uncle, who she loves and they love her. And then
Well, the aunt loves her.
The aunt
The
loves
aunt
her.
lo-
The
the
aunt
aunt
loves
loves
her.
her.
And Ione did.
How do you say her name?
I said
I've been
Ione.
calling Ione. Yeah.
Ione.
Ione. That's what I mean, it's Ione. That's how it's
I had a
spelled.
village-
I said Ione because that's just what I don't know.
I had a villager on my Animal Crossing island named Ione. She
Okay.
was a blue squirrel.
I love that.
I love that for you. This book has a lot of unique names, and I
Yes.
feel like Nightmare was just very basic.
No,
Well, but it was
I-
called Nightmare because she got it from the Nightmare card.
Yes.
Right.
And we'll go into like
Oh,
what
so that might
So-
not even be his name.
It's
No,
not.
his
you
name
find
is.
out later.
You find out later
that's
that
not
he's
his
the
name.
Shepherd King. But basically, what it is there's 12. They're called Providence cards.
Yeah.
What I pictured in my head were like tarot cards.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the cards are, I wrote them all down. So there's the well, which the well makes people,
It gives them clear sight.
it gives them clear sight so they can see, like, if
They're,
somebody's going
like,
to betray
they're-
them
yes,
or, like,
they're
what's going to happen. They're
enemies,
enemies.
Yeah.
The Nightmare card lets you tap into people's minds and, like, read their minds or talk to them in their minds,
And
that
also
type of thing.
show them their biggest fear.
Yeah,
Right?
so they're their biggest fear. There's the Black Horse, which gives you, like, strength and an advantage in war.
Yeah.
The golden eggs make you lucky. The prophets. What do the prophets do again?
Why don't I have that one written down?
I know there's like the Scythe.
There's the sky, which is it's not how you. I don't know how.
Scythe.
Scythe.
You guys didn't watch Billy and Mandy?
I did, but I couldn't remember how to pronounce it. The scythe is it makes people do whatever you tell them to do.
Yeah.
There's white eagles, which again I don't remember what that one does.
The courage.
Is that the courage? Maidens, which
Say courage?
courage.
Okay. For a second.
No, I heard courage.
Okay.
Courage.
Yeah.
Courage. Whatever.
Courage.
Okay, I'm gonna
Maidens give you beauty.
Uh-huh.
Chalices make
A truth
a
serum.
truth serum for you. Iron Gates, which I don't know what that one does. I don't remember what that one does either.
In my notes, it says Serenity. It gives you serenity.
Okay. The mirrors, I don't remember what that one does either.
Invisibility.
And then,
I didn't understand
yeah, invisibility. And then there's there's one or two twin
One
Adler
Adlers.
cards, and nobody knows what those do because they've never been found.
But that, in my notes, it just says Spirit of the Woods.
Yeah.
So there's only one of them. And so the way it works is like there are 12 Black Horse cards, there's 11 Golden Egg cards, there's 10 White
So
Eagle
as
cards.
it goes
Yes,
down.
as it goes down,
There's less and
there are
less.
less and less cards.
But what they need is one of each. They need one of every card, so 12
clear out
altogether,
the
a full
mist.
deck.
Yes.
So yeah, to get rid of the mist.
And
Plus,
then
plus the blood of
if you-
Plus the blood of somebody who's infected.
And then if you, I know in the synopsis, if you use one, like whatever it does, like comes back on you.
If you use it too often.
Yeah, there's
So
like a price,
there's a
essentially.
character in here. His name is Elm. He is the king's youngest son. He has a scythe card, and he uses it at one point to help Elspeth save this mother and father and their son. The son's infected. The High Prince is going to send them out into the woods, into the mist to get killed. He helps, like, distract them in a sense, and his nose starts to bleed because he's been using it too often. And basically, what the scythe does, each of them have their own things. So if you use the scythe too often, you become like super, super, super painful. Like you are just in pain all the time. If you use the well too often, yeah, you're gonna see if people betray you, but the closest person to you will end up betraying you and you won't see it coming. The maiden, if you use that too often, you
It
are
gives-
beautiful and
beautiful.
beautiful and beautiful, but you're gonna have a heart of stone.
Yeah, I know and I saw that the one that like gives you wealth, you'll end up like getting like really, really greedy or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
So yeah, they each have basically the whole premise is nothing is free. There nothing, especially magic does not come free.
Yeah, magic has a cost.
So like the voice in her head, this monster does not come free, and she ends up finding that out at the end of the book, which we'll get into when we get to that part.
So, essentially, the uncle, when she touches the card, absorbs it into her head,
Mm-hmm.
has a creature in her head, right?
Mhm. And then what is it, like the day after the physicians show up to like come and see if there's anybody infected there.
yeah. And I don't know, I lost my train of thought. I thought I knew where I was going.
Wow, you thought you were gonna do something.
No, and it went totally off.
Well, basically, the physicians are who comes and checks to make sure the kids aren't infected. And the main physician, what was his name? Orith?
Something.
Orith Willow.
Trash.
Trash. He has this like claw thing that he like pricks your blood with,
Yeah.
and it tests your blood to see if it comes back infected or not.
The gag is that he's also infected.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the king keeps him around because his magic is useful.
Yes.
to
Yes.
him.
Yeah. The king. So like, if they find somebody who's infected, they bring them back to the king, and the king will like test their magic, and if the magic benefits the king in some way, he'll keep them around. But if the magic does not benefit the king in some way, then they're killed.
Right.
So you end up finding out that what is his name? Emery Yu is the king's youngest nephew.
Yeah.
He is infected. The king is keeping him around because the king plans on using him as a sacrifice.
Yes. It's not obvious to us when we first read about
Something was wrong. Like you noticed something
I
was
was
off.
like, I
The
wrote a
Emery,
note.
the Emery in the beginning of the book to
Yes.
the Emery of the end of the book was like
I actually really liked Emery
Me
at the end of
too.
the
Yes.
You
It
felt
made-
something.
I,
you know?
I felt
like,
so sorry for him
he was just
that
a
he had
little boy. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I picture
All
there's
of
no
this.
age on him, but I picture him being like anywhere between like 9 and like
I pictured
12.
him being like 14.
Yeah,
like,
that,
okay.
I was
15.
like 13, 14.
Because
like,
he makes this like cute little joke that's like, "Oh, Elspeth, aren't you gonna kiss me?" Like,
yeah.
you know, like he's just a little boy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I thought when he first got introduced, I was like, who is this?
You
Yeah,
find
I was like, what the
You find out
fuck?
later
Yeah.
that he's been infected and he's degenerating.
Yes.
Which is a thing that happens with people who are infected. The longer you are infected, like you're going to degenerate. Whether that is like you lose your mind or you get really sick and frail. There's always a price for magic.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And his just happened to be like so quickly, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
his felt like it went a lot quicker. But
Yeah.
I think that's because anybody he touched, he could kind of see
Right.
into their minds in
so
a sense.
it was like
So
the
it was
magic
like
was already activating.
exactly
anyway.
whenever he touched
Right.
anybody, he had no choice of whether the magic was being used
Right.
in
Right.
a
Have a question?
sense.
No, you guys answered it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So he touches Elspeth.
Well, they go.
Um,
They travel.
yes.
They travel to the king's castle,
Castle, yes.
for equinox, and that's kind of
Yes.
like where everything takes place,
Starts.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it all starts.
Also, this book takes place in the course of like a week.
Yeah.
yes.
But the uncle has hidden away a nightmare card, which is the most rare card aside from the twin alders card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's only two
There's
of
only
them.
There's
two
only
of them. And the
And he's had it for years, apparently.
Well, he's had it for 11 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ever since Elspeth touched it
Now,
that
whenever
one time.
he brought it home,
Because- yeah,
he
because
obviously
she-
killed somebody.
Yes,
so,
because
like,
she was
there
standing out by the stables,
Yeah.
and him and his what is it? Something in arms? No, master at arms. Come back, and her uncle's sword is like dripping in blood, and they're like, ha 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 ha! Look what we found! We got a nightmare card! Yes,
Yeah,
woo!
Pretty much. Pretty much.
And so he brings it up to his study, and she sneaks in, and that's when she touches it. So yeah, he's had it hidden for 11 years. Yeah, so he decides to take the nightmare card and offer it to the king
in
in order to get Ione.
like in
Marriage.
in mind.
Yeah.
Like,
With-
the
what's
the
his name?
throne.
Hoff.
Hot.
Hoff.
Oh, fuck this.
That's okay. He's a shitty person, and I'm sorry, he has a shitty ass name. To go along
Yes.
with it.
Stupid
Hoff.
name for a stupid man.
Stupid name for a
Seriously.
stupid man.
Ugh.
And I'm sorry. Okay, so Ione.
Uh-huh.
She's a shitty ass person. I really did not like her because, okay, to me,
Doesn't go into like the thing that she's because I liked her at first.
at first I did until Elspeth started going to her and being like, hey, listen, I don't think this is such a great idea. I care for you. I love you. You're my cousin. We've been through so much. And I just think that you should take a step back. This is how I was picturing it.
Uh-huh.
That she was sitting there talking to her and be like, hey, listen, I love you so much. I love the relationship that we have. I feel like we could talk girl to girl about things. But this is how I feel about the situation. And I think maybe you should take a step back and look at it from a different angle. And Ione was just like, why do you think everything is about you? It's not just about you, Elspeth. And it's like Elspeth was
Right.
never at any point in time making it about
Right.
herself.
Fair.
She was literally telling Ione how much she cared about her and how much she didn't want to see her get hurt by
Right.
Hoff. And Ione's just like, you care about yourself and only yourself. Fuck you,
I think
Elspeth.
she was just like really ignorant and really
Yes.
just like with the idea of being royalty, with the
Yeah.
idea. She's a young girl
Yeah.
with this privilege of, becoming
Yeah.
a future
Mhm.
queen of
True.
sorts, right?
Yeah.
So I think,
A little naive.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
And kind of like
Right.
in love with the idea
Yeah,
of like
I'm
married. Yeah.
I'm
She's
gonna
gonna
be a
marry a
queen.
prince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm
It
gonna
was-
be a princess.
It was weird though, because she was like that. I felt like she didn't really, she cared for Elspeth, but more cared for herself.
Mhm.
But then at the end, she fucking switches. She's still under the guise of the maiden card.
Uh-huh.
So technically her heart is turning to stone, but she does everything to
To
protect Elspeth.
Well,
Yeah.
see, that's what I'm saying. I didn't come to. I kind of liked her.
Me too.
I had mixed feelings on her.
I kind of liked her the entire book.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Um,
there are
because-
times when I'm like, did you really have to do that? Or
Yeah.
you have to say that,
Right.
But
Of course, but I think she got to the realization that my cousin was right. I shouldn't have done this, and now
Yeah.
I'm stuck, and
Yep.
now I'm trapped
Yeah.
here, and I have to fight to try to keep myself from going to this maiden card, right?
Mhm.
But I don't know. I enjoyed her. I liked her character. I think she stayed true to who she was. But even though the card made her a little bit more rude, right?
Mhm.
I still feel like she obviously really cares for her cousin and cares for her family.
she was ready to fist fight Hoth,
Hoth,
at any
yes.
given second.
There was- I was
That's
just
what
looking
I'm
at-
saying.
I was just
That's
looking at
why
this
I
thing.
really loved it.
Yeah.
I loved her character. Like I thought that was even though under the guise of this entire card, she's still doing what she can.
Mhm.
Even if it's rude and ugly in the way that she's doing
Yeah.
it, it's giving Nesta. You know?
Kinda. There was a part that I marked down to with her, page 237. She just stands there and doesn't give two fucks that her about to be husband just had his ass handed to him by his
Yeah.
cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Raven goes and literally breaks Hoth's hand.
Oh,
And Ion's just sitting there like,
So
yeah,
good.
that's
breaks
funny.
it because he broke. The
He broke
girls.
Elspeth's,
Yeah.
but Hoth didn't know that it was Elspeth's
not that
hand.
far
We're not that
yet.
yeah, we're not that far into the book yet. But like,
I have a quote from the book that I would like to share. This will be the few pieces of this book that I share. It's my favorite one because it was the only one that mattered. He said, "What's his name? No.
Raven?
Raven.
Raven's the main guy, right? The
Yes.
blue eye?
Yeah.
Okay. He said, I resisted, Elsbeth, because I was already imagining how I might press my finger against your wet lips again. And that was nothing compared to the wicked things I was imagining after we argued in the garden."
Was any of that necessary?
No. Had nothing to do with what we were talking about at all.
But this is for the romance girlies.
There was a tad bit of romance. There wasn't a lot of
I
romance.
mean, the romance that they gave us was
I mean,
really
it
hot.
It was the high.
It was hot.
I'm sorry, it's not all about
Can I kiss you? And she's
right.
like,
Or, like,
they were way past that.
Yeah,
He's like, I don't mean there.
Not on your
Yes.
lips.
That's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't always have to be like the visual, right? Like the
Right.
actual literal
It's
word.
about
Yeah.
the sprinkle. You know,
Yes.
sprinkle it in for me.
And it was so
it's so tender, and like their love is so pure.
Yes.
There's a moment where he says, of all the things I pretend at, he said, his thumb drawing small circles along my waist, courting you has been proven the easiest. And I just had my little feet kicking.
Yeah, that
I-
quote's for the romance girlies.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though, Raven, and when he first got introduced,
Oh, insufferable.
Yes.
I was
didn't-
like,
couldn't get a read on him.
I was like, please tell me this is not him.
Yeah.
Especially
This
too
is
when
not
like
him.
she was standing outside of the room and they were like discussing pretty much what to fucking do with her.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I guess if I have to fucking pretend to court her, I guess so. Like,
Right,
god
yeah.
damn, alright, great, put me in the line of fire type of shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just like I was like,
You know you love her.
So,
Right.
so the uncle gives the nightmare card to the king
Yes.
in order to secure Ion's engagement to Hoth,
yes.
and in return, Ion gets the maiden card, which and she's not seen using it at first.
Oh yeah, when they're in the garden.
Yeah. So, but
I
Elspeth's power, Elspeth's magic, she can see the cards. She can see the
Their
light
color,
that
yeah.
they emanate. Like if somebody has one in their pocket, even with her eyes closed, she can see it.
right.
And so she knows immediately right away that Ione is covered in a pink light. And so she has the maiden card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have any theories as to why she started using it?
I don't know because I was just looking at, I wrote something down, page 102. I said, so they've been taught about the cards their whole life because they have. There's a whole scene where
Right.
Elspeth talks about how
there's an
her
entire
aunt,
book.
yeah,
The Book of
but
Alders.
Elspeth talks about how her mother and her aunt used to sit down with her and Ione and tell them about the book and read them the the book, the old book of Alders or whatever it's
Old
called.
Book of Alders, and I wrote in here that it's mentioned several times, sounds important, and it is,
Yeah.
because it warns of the dangers
Exactly.
of magic.
So I wrote down page 102, which is when she starts to use the maiden card. So they've been taught about the cards their whole life and basically told they're bad. But Ione is just like, yep, let me use this.
But I think
Unless because there was a point when he used the scythe card on her.
Yeah.
When he ended up using the chalice on them towards the end of the book, he used the scythe
right.
to make Ione be the one to give them the truth serum.
Right.
So unless he is using the scythe and making her use the card,
Obviously, well, the thing is, he's obviously like a brute, right? Like,
Yes.
he's an abusive man. Like, and Iona's probably experiencing some stuff in the time that she's been with him. In my head, the maidens, obviously, it's not gonna cure everything, right? But it's gonna make her heart of stone to a point where she just doesn't care.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she's living this life of complete turmoil, like with a man who's horrible. So why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Why am I gonna feel it?
yeah.
True.
Why am I gonna sit here and endure it? I'm just gonna become cold.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
who cares? That's my thing.
I
It's
guess I
like,
can
I'm
understand
not
that.
gonna endure all this, and like I don't want to feel it. So why not use it?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, that definitely, that 100% makes sense.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, because why would she not use it when she first got it, but then after some time there,
she's all of a sudden
she's
like,
all of a sudden just using it constantly,
yeah.
right?
No, that does make sense.
Yeah. So I was
I
like,
didn't think of it that way. I thought of it of like he was forcing her
right.
to use it because he's that
Well,
much of a fucking ass.
Yeah. Or maybe she just accepted it. Like, that's her fate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she didn't listen to, her cousin.
And now she's punishing herself.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Maybe, I
Because,
mean,
like-
because then that's why she helps her at the end where she's
Exactly.
like, damn, I fucked this up. I should have listened to her. Okay, let me do something that I can do now.
While I can.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
That kind of makes sense.
That's why I really liked her. Because, like, that's just what I pictured the whole
Yeah.
time. Like, fine, I screwed up, so I'm going to do what I can to make it right. And, like, to not endure the pain that this guy is giving me, I'm just going to turn it all off. You know what I mean? Because, like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, if that's going to be your life.
Say, you know what I mean, one more time.
I'm sorry, I can't help
I'm
it.
just kidding.
I will say though, I did write down. It was another thing that I kind of called. I called it before it was in page 37. I wrote, "Is the Shepherd King the beast in her mind?"
Oh.
Because he actually does kind of give you a hint that he is. The very last sentence on page 37, which is the last sentence of chapter 3, he said, I think it would be she says it, "The girl, the king, and the monster they became."
Mm-hmm.
So he very much foreshadows what's going to happen at the end of the book, and that he's the Shepherd King in her mind. The other thing I wrote down, where did I put it? I put down that I thought page 174, when she first sees the guy in the armor, and then she notices that he's the same guy that's on the rugs and the stuff around the Yu's house. I said that I thought he was a Shepherd King, which, come to find out, spoiler, he is. And I think he's going to come to her in a dream and tell her where to find the Alder cards. Which this is my prediction for book 2. I think the Alder cards are buried with him.
Oh.
Because there's that part she has where she has a dream, which she thinks is a dream, and she's in the room with the one dark window, and she's digging the ground underneath the stone thing in the center. And then she wakes up and she actually is in the room.
Right.
And she actually has dirt all over her and all this stuff. I think that they're buried. I think he's buried in that room. I think that they are buried like on his body somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think he was trying to, because you can already tell he is not the type to just tell her outright where things are.
Right.
Everything is a riddle. Everything is a game. Everything is I'm going to give you these little bits and pieces of information, and you need to piece them together.
Yeah.
And I think that he was trying to tell her, like, bitch, fucking dig right here. Like, you guys got the gate card, the iron gate card, which they stole. You have that. You need 2 more cards. here, I'm giving you the fucking elder card that nobody could find because it's
Yeah.
fucking buried on me. And she was just like, oh my god, I'm sleepwalking again. And then wakes up back in her fucking bed.
Yeah, I believe that.
Dang.
So I think in book 2, I think the elder card's gonna be buried with him.
I believe so. And that whole thing about who was it that said it? Was it Emery that was talking and like crazy talk about? Was it him?
Yes, but he was.
About the yew trees
Yep.
on the yew property,
Mhm.
where the Shepherd King was,
Yep.
and them being the rightful heirs, and like you know.
And his mother, the mother was like, okay, stop with your nonsense talk. Like,
Yes,
you know, we hear this all the
exactly.
time for you. And Elspeth is sitting there like,
That.
no, he's telling
Yeah.
the fucking truth.
You know what I mean?
Like, this monster in my head is told, like, he's 100% true.
Okay,
So,
I kind of like was. I found it laughable. When I found out all the people that were involved in this little cahoot
Yes.
that they're in.
Yes.
Because it was like, you guys are like this close to the king, like you guys are all embedded,
Yes.
and you guys are doing all this right under his
Mhm.
nose, and he has no idea.
But like,
it's not
I feel like I don't know if I missed something, but is their only motivation to like save
Emery.
Emery?
Yeah.
well, to save Emery and to save Raven. Because you come to find out,
Oh,
too, that
yeah,
Raven is
Raven,
also
right.
infected.
Yeah.
Right.
So both you children have caught the fever and are
That's
infected.
True.
Emery's, as we said before, Emery's magical ability is touching people and seeing into their head. Raven's, what was his magical?
He can't use the cards.
Oh yes, cards can't be used against
Right.
him except for the Nightmare and the Mirror. As of right now, are the only two that he can use.
Right. That's his degeneration.
Yes.
Where like he would be able to use the cards, but every year he loses the ability to
Yes.
like use one of
Why-
the cards.
Why you? They know, like the king knows that Raven is infected, or do they not?
Yes, the king knows.
That's what I'm saying. So like, why are we killing Emery? You know what I mean? Why does it have to be Emery?
I think because if you think about it, Raven is more of an asset to the king than Emery is. Because
Right.
say if there was a war or something and Emery gets caught or somebody, whatever,
Yes.
nobody can use
He's-
cards against him.
This may be a little bit of a plot hole, but he's keeping Emery around for that specific reason, to use his blood to dispel the mist.
Yes.
Right? Where it becomes a plot hole is why did he not just take an infected child?
True.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
Why his own nephew?
Why does it
Yeah.
have to be a you?
Yeah.
But unless the Rowan King, I think that was his name, his actual name is, unless the Rowan King knows the true history,
That's what I'm saying.
that the U's are technically the rightful heirs.
So like, no matter what, he's still gonna try to get rid of the U's
Mhm.
anyway,
Mhm.
because they are the true heirs. I don't know, but I did find it just funny that this whole group of people, like, it's not even a small group either.
It's not. It's a fucking huge group.
Yeah, it's
so
a
they
whole
keep on
family.
adding people on. 'Cause
Yes.
At first, it was Raven, Elm, which Elm's real name is like Renelm,
Yeah.
Renelm or some shit like that. Jesper, I'm assuming is how you pronounce her name.
Yeah, that's how I
And Philic, who is also a physician,
Yeah.
Yes.
who is Orith, however he pronounces his name, cousin. So you know it's the four of them,
But that's what I'm saying.
which is like, all right, cool.
And then the mom
And then all of a sudden the mom and the dad come on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's also, who were the other people?
it's just like, what?
There were two
There's
other
too
people.
many people
That's why I was like, wait,
involved.
what?
Wick and Peter Ivy.
Yeah. I
They
was
were the next,
there's-
there's like 8 people in this fucking group.
I know, there's this huge group.
All I kept thinking is you're adding more and more people and, do you have a candle on out there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just saw something flickering on the wall and I was like,
I did.
what the fuck is that? You see, all I kept thinking was, okay, we're adding more people. Okay, we're adding more people. Okay, we're adding more people. Somebody's gonna fucking turn.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I was like, there's so many people in this room with this big old secret that you guys are trying to be sneaky about.
Yeah.
And it just keeps growing and like how have you guys not got caught?
Right?
Like these plans
But-
are not the greatest. Like,
but
oh,
you
let's
do-
just put mask on
Mhm.
and go.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
What? You're telling me you don't recognize each other?
Yep.
That's
All
what
you're
I'm-
doing is wearing masks.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't. This king must be
All black and masks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There
But
can't
you
be
do-
more than one 6'5" person with
True.
black hair, be whatever he's described
I
as.
know. Like,
But you do start to learn that Hoth does have a suspicion that it is them, which is
that's-
why
but
he uses
that's
the
what I'm
chalice.
saying. Like, I know.
But only after
Elspeth
Elspeth's he breaks Elspeth's wrist. So
But if you also think about it though, in a sense, they've never been highway as far as we know. Again, maybe it's another kind of plot hole to it. They've never been highwaymen to anybody involved with the king.
okay.
If you think about it that way, this is the first time, and Hoth and them weren't even supposed to be there.
That was just like
with what's the guy's something Pine, Waylon Pine. They weren't supposed to be there. It was just supposed to be Waylon Pine or Elspeth's dad.
Supposed to be there.
It was just
either.
supposed to be Waylon Pine and his the guy who drives his carriage for him. It was just supposed to be them coming back. So it's supposed to be very, very simple, and then all of a sudden Hoth is there, and there's multiple Decateers or however you pronounce them there. And also Elspeth's fucking father. Also the fact too that she fought off her father. Like-
I think
yeah.
he knew it was her.
I don't. You think
Yeah,
so?
you think so?
I do think he knew it was her, because I don't know. I think just because of the fact, like, he knows his daughter so well, and she doesn't believe it. She doesn't believe that he loves her, that he knows her so well, that he.
I think though she realized that in the end when he just handed over his well
That's
card
why.
to her.
That's why I
He-
think he gave her the card.
Their
Because
relationship made me so
yes.
like sad because it is kind of tragic, right?
Yeah.
Because he is like a hunter of like essentially like the magic people,
Yeah.
and like she became a person with magic.
Yeah.
But there's so much evidence that he like loves her so much and loved his her
Yeah.
mother. Because my first note in here is the evil stepmother trope is in full swing.
Yeah.
And then Miriam about the irises says, "Oh, it's such a lackluster flower. I don't know what your father sees in them." Knowing that his late wife's name is
It's
Iris. And why would she feel that kind of way, towards a man that didn't love
Yeah.
like his first wife,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I think he knew it was her. Just like a more of like a, I don't know, just like a connection. Like, you're gonna know that your kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're gonna know your kid just because she's wearing a dumb mask on her face. You know what I mean? Like that's not.
Now, is it a full face mask or is it just like a half?
they
mask?
describe it in a weird kind of way.
Yeah, I'm assuming, to me it sounded like they took bandanas and like tied it around the back of their heads. So
Yes.
it's like this, just their eyes are open.
Yeah.
That's how
That's
I read it.
Which
So
like if
stupid.
you cut Nicole's like the bottom half of her head, like,
I'd still be able to
I'd
tell
still
that
be
was
like, that's fucking Nicole.
Yeah.
Nicole, you can't rob me like that.
You can't rob me blind. I
That's
know who you
why
are.
that's why I think at the end, because
he
he
puts, like,
he has the well card, right? Like
Yes.
he's the one that has the well card, so he can see his enemies or whatever that are trying to
He
betray
gave
him and
Nicole,
stuff.
like, the dirtiest.
So who's to say he didn't use that card to find out that his daughter was gonna betray him, right? Oh no, but that's why I believe that. Why
Yeah.
do you think he just gave her the well card so willingly?
I would say
I
it was.
think
It was very.
I think he knows their cause. I think he understands what they're trying to do, and I think he's like, okay, like, okay, that's what you guys are gonna do. I think that's the right thing to do. And first off, like, what happened to her mom? She got sick.
Her mom got the fever. I'm
The
assuming
fever.
her mom got the
The
fever
fever.
also, because that's
Yeah.
kind of what they alluded to, is that her mom got the fever and her mom died from it.
Yeah,
And then shortly after, she caught the fever, and that's when
yeah.
he sent her away to go live with her aunt and uncle.
So, I, like, from my little synopsis,
Yeah.
I thought you could only get the fever if you, like, touched the mist.
they don't really
They don't
explain
specify
that.
it,
There's
yeah.
no they don't really specify if that's how it is. Oh, do you just go out into the mist and you get the fever, or do you get the fever just it chooses random people? They don't really specify
because there are
that.
people who go into the mist
And are
right,
fine.
and are fine. Well, because they have some
The
kind
talisman,
of charm.
yeah.
Yeah, they have some kind of charm.
They say this whole thing of you take an animal, you bury it, you wait until flowers grow where you buried it, you then dig it up and take something from the animal and you keep it on you, and that's your talisman. And it'll protect you against
a crow's foot.
a crow's foot. And it'll protect you against the mist.
So they're just carrying around these like dead animal bones.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like, you know how people like have like lucky rabbit's feet?
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
Because somebody has a rabbit's foot. I forgot who it is. And then somebody else, I think Raven has like an actual bird's feather or something like that.
Yeah, a feather I could understand.
Like, but yeah, she has a crow. Elsbeth's is a crow's foot,
Crow's foot.
which is kind of weird.
I'm not
It's
sure.
also, to me too, it's also, and I get it because they're trying to appease the spirit of the wood, but they all have tree last names. They take the trees'
yes.
names.
Yeah, like Rowan and
Yeah. Instead of saying like, oh shit, or oh my god, they
Say
literally
trees.
say trees.
Yeah.
I tagged it. Page like
What did
132.
they say?
They say trees. Page 132, I literally tagged it and I was like, why the fuck did he say trees? Hold on. I'll read it. Hold on.
Trees.
See, I would expect
So they're
that.
talking and it goes, they all began to speak at once, their voices a chaotic buzz. We needn't elaborate much, Fenner said. There will be gossip, of course. Raven's never taken time to properly court anyone before. Trees, Raven muttered, his voice dripping irritation. And I literally sat there for a solid 5 minutes and I was like,
Yeah, I had one
Trees.
of those moments.
Is that
too.
like
Trees.
is that like a shit moment? Like
I'm assuming shit. Like,
Yeah.
or oh fuck. Like,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
they just go trees.
are we gonna start doing that?
Trees.
We're gonna pick up saying
I think it would
trees.
be hilarious.
So is this I guess like taking place in like a town or like somewhere that's like just surrounded by
Yes.
trees?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
they are
Blender,
yeah.
Yeah, Blender's essentially like cut off from everything else because of the mist.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like it's getting worse and worse.
Oh, so essentially it's just kind of suffocating the city.
Correct.
Like coming in and in.
well, that's
Okay.
why they need to dispel it.
Yeah.
Oh, see, everything makes sense.
Mhm.
It'd probably make more sense if you read the book, dummy.
True, Laura.
Okay, but if I called her a dummy,
It would be me, and then
Hell would have broken loose.
I would have cried a couple tears.
Well,
Can we talk about the big old twist at the end?
The twist.
are we not skipping?
What are we skipping?
it's. I mean, guys,
The
that-
whole.
What? No, you
No,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. You
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. You go ahead. You go
No,
ahead.
I'm not saying anything.
No.
I mean, well, after. Where did we leave off?
I don't know. We've kind of
You
been
guys
going
are
through-
talking.
we're
You guys
not
are talking about
talking
the mask.
About the fake dating trope.
Okay, that's what I was gonna get to. That's what I was saying.
I love this trope, and any kind, I will eat it up every.
Because they
single
always
time.
end up getting together anyways and actually falling in love.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
eat it up every single time.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's just too predictable at this point.
It is. And I mean, I love it. I do love it, but I also fucking hate it.
I
they
love
also,
predictability.
They also.
It's very predictable.
I'm an Aquarius.
I guess there's parts in this book like where they're supposed to be seen out in public together and like hanging out. And I'm like, you guys are out there for like 2 seconds and then you go
Yes.
behind closed doors to go do whatever you're gonna do and look for something and never come back.
Yeah.
Like, and then nobody notices you at the party that you're
Yeah,
gone
that's
for
true.
so long.
Right.
Like, I don't understand. Like,
Like she gets up in the middle of dinner.
You're anxious and reading this. You're like,
She
oh
gets
my
up
god,
in
they're
the
gonna
middle
get
of dinner.
got. They're gonna
Yes.
get found out.
Well,
literally,
they get
that
up
was
in,
my, yeah.
they get up in the middle of dinner and they just fuck off
They
to
just-
God knows where.
Yes, and
and
I'm
nobody, like, her stepmother, her
how is-
father, her aunt and uncle, nobody's just like, hey, has anybody seen Elspeth?
Exactly.
Where'd she go?
I was.
Hey, wait, Raven's missing too.
But
Oh,
then-
fuck.
And the entire time.
Raven, I can kind of understand like him being missed, right? Like people would know when he's gone.
True.
Elspeth is just kind of like a normal girl. You know, she's just like she's just there. She's
She's
not
just the girl
she's
next
not
door.
she's nobility, right? But they're just like oh, there's, so and so's daughter. That's her name's
Who's
Elspeth.
courting Raven you?
I know. That's
Like-
my thing.
I
Like,
guess.
Before
you guys-
that, when she bumped into Emery and that whole thing happened, her being missing, nobody's really gonna notice that she's missing. But what was it? What's
Or,
the next one they
they're a
go
young
to?
couple in love. Why? What? People just probably think they're going to make out somewhere.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying.
Which I get that. I get that.
Yeah,
But the entire time, she's always like, well, nobody's gonna notice me. Nobody's gonna notice that I'm gone. Nobody's gonna notice that I'm just out missing dinner. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, to me, it's
also
like,
too because she
I
comes.
think because, like, I have knowledge of everything that's going on and what they're planning to do, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking that the people all around them know exactly what's going on. And it was, like, giving me, like you said, it was giving me so much anxiety. Like, how is nobody noticing
Well,
this?
that too, and the fact that she just like comes back at like these random times in the middle of the night, and then sleeps until like noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, to where her her half sisters walk in, and they're just like, "What you doing? Oh, look at you're finally up. It's
Okay,
lunchtime."
and then, like the stepsisters, right? I would notice.
I feel like I was looking
I would
around this cup
notice
to look at
if
you.
my sister, if my sister, my half sister,
Yeah.
whatever, was out there dating somebody that I thought was like, oh my gosh, and then like look for her everywhere, look for them at the party,
Yeah.
or whatever it is, and be like, what is he doing? Where are they at? Where? Because it's
True.
gossip, right?
Yes, because
I
because her
You know what I mean?
because
they
her
are
two half
obsessed
sisters
with
are like,
gossip.
"You're dating
Yeah.
him."
Yes.
Tell us
like,
everything.
how are you gonna sit there?
Yes.
How are you gonna sit there and tell me they did not notice? Like,
Exactly.
it's
True.
just, you
True.
know,
I will
like-
say there kind of were a bunch of plot holes in this book. It was good. Don't get me wrong. It was very very good. It
Yes,
kept my attention.
yes.
But there are
There's
some
just
points that you're just like,
loose ends that weren't
yes.
tied up correctly.
Yeah.
I
no,
mean,
it's just-
maybe they get tied up in book 2.
Hopefully.
Is this only a duology?
Yeah, I was about to
It is.
ask.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Although I love a duology because I like a little more than a standalone, but I'm not.
I don't wanna read
want
5,
start
yeah.
another series.
Right. I get
True.
I get you. But anyway, we get past the fake dating,
Oh.
and it turns to real dating, and it's
Mhm.
just like,
And they're so soft.
yeah.
They are.
Yeah, I can't take
But they're also adorable together. Like, I don't know what it is
Yeah.
about them that I'm just like, they
Yeah.
are adorable together.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. Raven he's a different kind of man. He's.
God, it took me a long time to get used to him.
I also feel like he's not the typical good looking, like, people are gonna walk by him on the street and be like, oh my
it's
god,
Raven."
he's
Yeah,
so hot.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I feel like he's not the typical type like that. Because
Right.
when they describe him, like, big beaked nose, like,
Uh-huh.
elongated features, like, I feel like he's just not like the
I
typical.
just picture Adam Driver.
Are you talking about the guy that was Star Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen.
I love Adam Driver.
Me
I'm
too.
Sorry.
Me too. He do be kind of hot.
Yeah, give me. Adam
People, I don't know,
Driver
guys
any
like
day.
that, sometimes you look at them and you're just like,
I love an ugly guy.
okay.
Right.
Look at Mara's face. Mara's like, are you guys okay?
I love Adam Driver.
He's a great actor. That's all I'm gonna give him. That's all I'm
There's
gonna
just
give him.
something about
To
it.
each their
Teach their own, teach their own, teach their own. But I don't know, I feel like I would see him and I'd be like, damn.
Is it
hot.
because he's tall?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, that always plays a key factor for me.
Okay, then if he was short, would you still feel that way? Exactly. Exactly.
No,
Quick prevent
there was
things
no,
from
no,
getting
no.
Listen, there was a guy in the store today who was
God.
coming to fix the roof, and Sue saw him. She was like, "Oh my God, where's Nicole?" Because he was a big man.
Oh,
He was big and
why
tall.
wasn't I there? Well, that's like anytime any of the cops show up, Rosie.
Yes,
If Rosie's
no.
there, Rosie comes and
We need to
finds.
put her on a leash.
Rosie will come back. She's like, Nicole, the cops are here. And I'm just like,
Guy
are they
really-
cute?
I think you guys just need to talk about the spoiler at the end.
Well, the big plot twist that I definitely did not see. Did anybody else see that coming?
Absolutely.
Is it what I
not.
think about?
They do.
Is it
He
What?
does.
not what I think about?
What?
Is
What
it-
do you think?
Isn't well, I don't know. Nightmare like comes out and like takes over her body.
No. That
Okay.
was not the plot twist.
Actually, well, what is the plot twist then?
Her uncle fucking betraying her.
Oh yeah.
Her uncle betrayed. So nobody but her father, her stepmother.
Like, it wasn't so much as a twist as it was like it was bound to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, look at what he did with his own daughter.
True,
You
but
know what I mean? Like, he obviously was not that great a guy.
he wasn't. He wasn't. No,
That is the most like defeated I've ever heard.
he
was
wasn't.
like,
He
damn,
wasn't
she's
that
going
great a
through
guy. He really wasn't. But I just didn't expect that. I didn't expect him to turn around and be like, "Hey, Hoth, yo, my niece over there,
Right.
like, she's fucking infected."
I just
Hey,
think
she's got a demon in her head.
Well, they didn't know that part. Nobody but Elspeth knew that she had this voice in her head.
right.
They all knew that she was infected and that she had this fever, but they all thought that she got no magical powers from it whatsoever.
They're like, wow, we really could have gotten some good shit from the king.
I am just like, I'm worried about her aunt because like she just keeps saying like the uncle is always around like the castle, around the king, around all this stuff, but like where's her aunt? She hasn't seen her aunt. Like what's happening to her aunt? And the way that her uncle's going, he's obviously going down a really dark path and like choosing power over family and power over everything, right?
Mhm.
Like what happened to the aunt? Where's she at? Hope she's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. My mind is like running 1,000 miles a minute when I was reading this book because I'm like I don't know. I'm trying to figure out everything about everybody's like position in this book, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was freaking out. But that really wasn't a plot twist for me. That was more of like you trash
It was-
human
See,
being.
it was a little bit of a plot twist for
that
me.
wasn't a plot twist for me. Well, the plot twist for me was well, Elspeth goes to Emery and she's like, "Hey, I need you to look in my mind again." And he can see the nightmare kind of like he describes it as like curved around her spine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Emery also kind of like talks in like these weird, not necessarily riddles, but like he talks in like this weird kind of like prophetic way. And he says something. He says the girl, the king, and then Elspeth finishes
The monster
sentence,
they became.
and the monster they became. And I didn't see it at first, but that's Elspeth's degeneration. Is that she
It's
is turning into like the Shepherd King, essentially,
Yeah.
or they're coming together.
Yeah.
Yep.
She
It's
basically,
create-
she in a sense like goes to sleep
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
because she talks about it where she's like she's so tired and she's like fading away and she's there for like the splittest second at the end talking to Raven because Raven ends up using the nightmare card on her
Yeah.
as he's like running up the stairs because she's like, "Don't come up here, Hoth's up here, like I've been found," and she's like, he says that she sounds so distant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she just pretty much is like, "I'm so tired," and the nightmare is like, "Go to sleep," basically, like
Yeah.
close your eyes,
Right.
it'll be fine.
Right.
And she just basically goes to fucking sleep.
I think the end of this book, seeing her completely overtaken by the nightmare, was like, it was.
I could
It-
not have seen it coming.
Well,
Like
that's
you
like-
could tell me like specifically they're going to like merge into one. I still would have been like, oh well, there's a way that they get over it, right?
Yep.
Right. But for it to be completely like she was completely over, like there is no Elspeth.
Well,
it is
yeah.
all
Yeah.
nightmare.
Yeah.
It is all creepy smiles and
Yeah.
long hair
Yeah.
and like
Mhm.
looking at
I
you
think
through
of,
the prison doors, like
Oh my god, what's the fucking movie?
Freaky Friday.
No.
what the,
The
ring?
Ring.
That's what I was picturing. Like
The girl comes out of the well.
Yeah, I
I
was-
picture Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender, where she's all fucking crazy.
Say it.
So like
I
the-
just pictured the ring girl. Oh, what's happening?
It just popped over.
Oh, okay.
so with Nightmare, like whenever he takes
Yeah,
over,
it's
like
2
does
hours.
her appearance change?
No, the only thing that changes
Her
is her
eyes.
eyes.
Right.
Her eyes go from black to yellow.
Black.
Because her eyes are like so dark they're black,
Oh,
basically. Like they're described as looking like coal or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
So they go to
Wow.
yellow.
That's
yeah, like
so
she's
romantic.
she's like a super pale girl, super black hair, like super black eyes, just like always dressed in dark velvet
Mhm.
colors, and like I love her.
Me
She's
too.
like
Yeah.
Like a little
giving
goth.
gothic queen, and I
She
love
is.
it.
She's very gothic. Very gothic.
Yeah.
I was gonna say page 365. That's where I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like you were talking about before, because literally the end of the last little part says, "The nightmare's claws cradled my mind. Be safe," I whispered to the wind as Raven, you disappeared beyond the gate. Had I known they'd be the last words I said to him aloud, I might have chosen them differently.
That's
and I literally wrote down, "What do you mean last
I was gonna
words?"
say-
And I thought he dies.
Me too.
Yeah.
I wrote in my notes, huh?
I really thought he was gonna die. I was like,
Yeah.
you cannot tell me we got all this with this man, but it like still isn't enough.
Yeah.
I want more of him. You cannot tell me
Yeah.
he fucking dies. And then it goes into her fucking
Fading away.
fading away
Into
and
the
not
nightmare.
being there
Yeah.
anymore.
Well,
and
and then the last like point of view that you get, it's saying we, like we did this,
Mhm.
we did that,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
so the two became
well, because
one.
because she, in a sense, she ultimately decided it.
Uh-huh.
Because she turned around and she said, "I need your help," and he was like, "You know what that means?"
So
and she was
that's
like,
why-
"I do know, and I accept it."
What
Yeah.
are you guys' feelings on the nightmare? Like, is he good? Is he bad? Is he?
I think he's a mixture.
Is he
Yeah.
our morally gray man?
100%.
Our morally gray it?
Yeah.
100%.
Really great.
It's
Well,
yeah.
he's like the nightmare. Essentially, like in the what I've gotten from everything, he's like 500 years old.
Yeah, he's
so
old.
this man's had some time to stew, and I feel like it might be one of those things where it is morally gray, and he's just trying to right his wrongs, no matter how
Maybe.
many wrongs it takes to get there, type of thing.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's my take.
I
on
can
it.
I can see that.
He's also
yeah.
so fueled with revenge.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
he wants
He hates
revenge.
the Rowans.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He hates them so
Yes.
much. Like every time a Rowan comes into the picture and is around
It's
them,
just
she
like-
talks about him hissing in her mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he hates them.
I don't know, but I thought the ending was crazy, but I thought it was good. Like I thought it was
Mhm.
like, dang.
I love books that end like this on
She's-
cliffhangers.
Yeah, like she's gone. Like
Mhm.
yeah, maybe we might be able to find a way to get her back in the next book, but like
Well, at this point,
she's gone.
the only way of getting her back, if it's possible, is gonna be getting rid of the mist. Is finding that last
Right,
alder card.
I just kept looking at this because it says like, you know, she is a maiden, and then you have the monster, and then martyr, and martyr means death.
Yeah.
You know, like
Well,
so
okay,
essentially like
me.
is that how it's gonna happen? Like that's what has to happen in order for the mist to get lifted, for everything to go the way it is, that she has to die a martyr. Right?
So me and
Essentially.
Cindy were talking about things the other day, and I was like, I just want a book where the main character dies.
yeah.
Like and she was like, why do you want to be hurt? And I was like, I don't know, I just want to cry. Like, and I honestly, and I hate to say, I'm really hoping that book 2 is that.
Because
I honestly am hoping that that's how it goes, where she has to be the sacrifice.
I think that's
I can't.
like I would hate it, right? Because I've come to really enjoy her a lot, but I do think that's what's gonna
Yeah.
have to happen, you know?
Mhm.
Because I don't think there's gonna be a way for. I mean, maybe there might be a way for them to like separate the two entities, but I think
if they do, something is going to be really off about her.
yeah,
Hmm
right.
She's
think-
not going to be the same person anymore
Yeah,
if they do stuff like that.
like she has to die. And that will be the only way. Like she has to die, and that's gonna be the only way to get rid of the Shepherd King, or get rid of what's in her
Mhm.
and all. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because like truthfully, if he comes back, he really wasn't that great a guy to begin with.
No.
Facts.
You know? So I don't know.
Damn. I mean, I can't wait to read book 2, honestly, at this point.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
really
I'm
made
really
me want to
excited.
read book 2.
Yeah.
So, do we have any other thoughts, comments, concerns?
It seemed like a great book.
You're going to have to go read it, Mara.
Why? I have this. Feel like I have it pretty down that I can go to the next one.
That's up to you, homegirl.
Yeah, we leave out a lot of key things,
Yeah.
you know? Just for the sake of like where
We
our
didn't even
minds
talk
are.
about the scene with the truth serum and
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
She gets poisoned.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Well, they all
re-
do. Yeah.
Well, not really, because she restrains it so much that she fully like they have to bring her an antidote.
Oh yeah, no. I meant like they're all tricked into drinking.
Oh yeah.
Like the truth serum
Mhm.
essentially, and then Hoth comes in and he's like, okay, let's play a game.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all like, "What the fuck? We didn't
Yeah.
consent to this."
Exactly.
Like, no.
Didn't she ask Raven if it was all like pretended?
Yes, and he was like, "No."
Yeah, see, I read about that. I got this down.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Hoth ends up asking her like, "How did you actually break your wrist?"
Mhm.
And because what she told him was, or no, she told Ione, I was trying to ride a horse and I fell off of it.
Yeah.
And so then Hoth asks her, like, before this, "Oh, what happened to your wrist? How'd you break it?" And Ione is like, "Oh, me and my cousin went riding on horses and she fell off and she hurt her wrist." So Ione was, like, covering for her. And so they do this whole truth serum thing and he comes up to her finally and he's like, "Okay, so, like, tell me, what's the actual story? Like, how did you break your wrist?"
Oh,
And she's sitting there like, and Ione's like, "I told you." And he's like, "Shut up, I don't want to hear from you." Like, basically like, yes, I just want to punch him in the
I want
face.
to punch him in his face. You can just tell like he's so freaking abusive.
He is.
Like the way
To
he just
everybody,
grabbing,
yeah.
like just like oh like
Wait,
just
who?
don't
I
touch
thought you were talking
me.
about Raven.
No, Hoth.
Hoth was asking her?
Yes, because Raven was
Okay.
with her. Raven was with her when her wrist got
Yeah.
broken. He knows Hoth broke her wrist.
Yeah.
But Hoth is asking her, like, "How did you actually break your wrist?" And so she fights this truth serum, and one of the effects, if you fight the truth serum, you get poisoned and you die. So she gets poisoned, she starts throwing up blood, and they rush her upstairs to her actual bed. Which also, too, how big is this fucking spindle house? 6 fucking floors?
Yeah.
6 floors.
Yeah.
Did they have to rush her up 6 floors?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I literally wrote it down. I was like, how big is this fucking house? 6 floors? Like, goddamn. Because I'm picturing this little, like, nice little chateau. And they start describing, like, this is on the 1st floor. This is on the 2nd
Oh my
floor.
God.
This is on the 3rd. This is on the 4th. The 5th floors are this.
Yeah.
And then my bedroom is on the 6th. And I'm like,
Do they have an elevator? You got me fucked up if I'm living on the 6th floor.
what?
Yeah.
No ma'am,
Yeah.
no ham, no turkey. I am not going up there. You better make me a nice little cot in the living room, because
Yeah.
fuck that.
So yeah, so they rush her up to her room, whatever. Philip Philip comes, brings her the antidote, and she's fine, but she's like super, super weak. And then that's when the whole thing goes down. They go out to do this like hunt or whatever, and Hoth is there, and that's when her uncle betrays her and all of that.
Everything goes down.
Yeah, everything goes downhill real fast.
Yeah.
Like within a span of like I feel like 30 minutes fast.
Also, the way that the author wrote the uncle's betrayal, like he comes to find her, right? And Elspeth can tell that there's something off, right? She's like, "Oh, like this is a little weird,"
Right.
And he seems like nervous and like sweaty, mom spaghetti, right?
Yeah.
But like, and yet she's still blindsided. She's still blindsided.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, you knew
She's
there's
like-
something weird going
Like
on
she
here.
like literally with the nightmare tells her like I'm sorry that your feeble mind can't comprehend. Like it's true. Like you're not paying attention. Like
Yeah.
you're just like
Yeah.
like she's dumb. But like she's dumb.
It's giving Feyre.
I was gonna say I love how you guys are like, she's dumb, and then when I turned around and I was like, Feyre is an idiot, she's
No.
stupid. You guys were like, you
No,
can't say
that's
that.
not what happened.
Feyre
You
is
said
a
that
dummy.
Feyre was stupid because she couldn't read.
She can read now, actually.
Are we done with this one?
I'm
Yeah.
done.
Okay. Yeah, so that is everything. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. As usual, it will be posted to our Instagram, so head on over there to leave any questions, comments, concerns, anything that we did not talk about that you guys are like, what about this in the book? We have our little Discord. That link will be down in there also. Again, head on over there. We can kind of talk to you guys in real time with that. bunch of different channels for you guys to go in. Please rate, review, subscribe to us. It will mean the world. I think that's everything. We will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye. Wow, harmonized.
You guys did harmonize. That was really good.